All right, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Thanks to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers who are getting this real time. Thank you to our Amazon Prime members who are smart and industrious and have remembered to link their Amazon Prime account to their Twitch Prime account. And if you are not lazy and you are not stupid, please remember to stick it to Amazon and re-up and reconnect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Relink it. The instructions are right below. Easy to do. Don't be lazy. Shane needs to get paid so he can afford gas to come out and see me.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Koocanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
From Twitter, our question comes from @DominiqueQC. Do you think the Xbox 360's red ring of death still casts a shadow on the Xbox brand? It seems like it's all been downhill since. I'm a PlayStation user, but I recognize that Xbox has a compelling product. Why is it no longer competitive like it used to be? Why do people seem to devalue the brand despite it releasing quality products? I don't think the red ring of death it had a lasting impact. Microsoft was pretty good about backing up people who suffered that. I actually got it like 3 years later. It cracked me up. My Xbox didn't go bad for like 3 more years. But, and also, what was that, 2007? You know, that, like, how many people with PlayStations today were gamers in 2007? Any gamer under 23 didn't have a console when the red ring of death happened. To be honest, I think Microsoft has done a relatively poor job of coming out with games on a regular basis, and Sony for a long time did a lot better job. Sony's gotten bad lately, but I mean Sony was very, very good in the decade from 2008 to 2018. They had a lot of good, Horizon kind of games like Uncharted, Last of Us. They had so many really big, good first-party exclusives in that 10-year period, like 4 Uncharted's in there, that I think that Microsoft fell behind because Microsoft literally had Halo and Gears and Forza and nothing else. Microsoft was never equal with Sony. At its best, it was equal with Sony in the US, maybe in the UK, and vastly behind in the rest of Europe, and really behind in Latin America and the rest of the world. So Sony has exploited its brand presence, which is well earned, in Europe, and has done very, very well in the US. I do think Microsoft dropped in the US from equal to a third the size of Sony. So that's the delta. But in the US, yes. Globally, they just never caught up. They've never been close. And UK, probably about the same. Europe, they just never got traction. PlayStation owners are loyal to the brand, and with good cause. I mean, they've been rewarded by being loyal, and they rightly complained the last several years about the dearth of compelling first-party content. So in the last 5 years, there's been maybe 5 games. The problem is, up to 2018, and I don't know if that's the right year, but it feels right, it was 2 or 3 a year, and then post-2018, it's been 1. So, but Sony hasn't lost share because Microsoft hasn't done any better. I mean, when's the last time we had Gears of War? It's just, like I said, there's not enough. So if you remember back to 360, the 360 came out, I want to say, at $400. The PS3 was $600. The PS3 had issues, a very sophisticated device. But like Grand Theft Auto 4, which I remember vividly, was supposed to come out in fall of 2007 and came out in spring of 2008. And that's because it didn't work on PlayStation, and it took them an extra 6 months to make it work. And Sony had a contractual provision that wouldn't allow Take-Two, Rockstar, to put it on Xbox first. They had to wait. So people were buying the Xbox 360 back then because it was cheaper and perceived to be better, even though it wasn't. I mean, technologically, PS3 was a better box, but it didn't have as much content because it was too complicated to make. If you remember, it was like, that was the 7 cores, so it was really hard to allocate memory among the cores, and it was just, there was stuff going on that made it hard to develop for. So Sony shot itself in the foot, and Microsoft got a toehold. It is absolutely fair to say, well, wait a minute, did Red Ring of Death undo that and undo that goodwill? Sure, but is it equally possible that PS4 was just as good, if not better, than Xbox One? Yes. Was the same price? Yes. Came out the same time, not a year later? Yes, because Xbox 360 was a year ahead of PS4. And was easier to program for, or the same, so it didn't have any real massive difference in games? Yes. And Sony doing really great on first party throughout the first 5 years of that cycle? Yes. So Sony got back its mojo with PS4, lost its mojo with PS3, and back to our CEO question from a couple of episodes ago, Ken Kutaragi lost his job because PS3 was such a disaster. So yeah, I mean, I guess the answer is, we had the perfect storm of Sony doing everything wrong and Microsoft doing everything right, and except for Red Ring of Death. Then in PS4 cycle, they both did the same. It wasn't like Microsoft did everything right and Sony did it wrong. They both did the same. So the Sony faithful came back. I think your question is, did the Xbox faithful abandon it because of Red Ring of Death? Yes, but I'm going to flip that over. Did the Sony faithful who tried Xbox go back? Yes. So I don't think they're the same customer. I think Sony got its mojo back is a better explanation. It's entirely plausible that what you asked is correct, that Red Ring of Death lost those customers. I'd say it's more likely Sony won those customers. So glass half full, glass half empty. Sony won them because Sony did a really great job in the PS4 cycle with first-party content, competitive pricing, good technology that's not complicated. And Microsoft had a huge advantage in 2005 with the Xbox 360 that eroded over time because of Red Ring of Death. Sony helped them by screwing up PS3 and won it all back with PS4. All right, fellow babies, thanks for joining us on this edition of Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. To our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers, thank you. You're getting this show real time. To our Amazon Prime customers who are neither lazy nor stupid, who have remembered to stick it to Amazon and link their Amazon Prime account to their Twitch Prime account. Really easy to do. You got to redo it every month or two. So please remember to do it when you hear me say you're not lazy and you're not stupid. Thank you for doing so. You're getting the show real time. People watching who have not done any of those things because you can't afford it, you don't have Amazon Prime, thanks for watching. You're getting a week late on YouTube because I insist it's free, because I don't get paid, so I don't think we should be forced to charge you. But follow me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. We will see you next time, fellow babies.